In this video, which is a bit longer than usual, we'll build our very first AI-powered workflow in n8n. Together we'll connect Gmail, OpenAI, and Telegram. The workflow itself is simple but powerful and fully customizable for your own use cases. Here's how it works. When a new email arrives to your Gmail inbox, n8n sends it to OpenAI and asks whether the message is urgent or not. If it is, n8n sends a Telegram notification to yourself with key details about this email. No prior knowledge is required. The only thing you will need is a registered n8n account. If you haven't set it up yet, check the link in the description. I explained everything in a separate video as well. Before we start building the workflow, we first need to connect n8n to the services we'll be using: Gmail, OpenAI, and Telegram. I will walk you through how to set up each of these connections. You only need to do this once. After that, you'll be able to reuse them in any future workflow without repeating the setup. Connection of Gmail, OpenAI, and Telegram to n8n is quite simple, even though connection of Telegram is a bit more complicated. In order to proceed with the Gmail, first we need to go to Credentials tab in n8n, and here we need to press Add First Credential. We'll search for Gmail. In this way, you can just press Sign in with Google and choose your account. You should give a permission to your account to n8n and press Continue. And like that, you have Gmail connected to n8n. And if we close this window here, you can see that the Gmail account credentials appear on the Credentials tab. I want to mention one thing here. I strongly recommend you, when you're experimenting with the n8n and any other workflow automations tools, to create a separate account in Gmail and make your tests there, so that then later, when you're comfortable, you can move the automations to your main Gmail account. In order to connect OpenAI, what you need to do first, you need to go to the website OpenAI platform. So it's called platform.openai.com. I have already registered here. That's why you can see that I'm logged in under Unreasonable AI. What you would need to do, you would need to basically just sign up to platform.openai.com with your account. I would also recommend you to add some funds. So to add your, let's say, credit card and put, for example, $5 or euro to your account, because any request to the OpenAI would cost you some money, even though not that much. After that, you'll be able to see the following. If you go to your user here and go to your profile, you will see API keys. We go to API keys. You can see that I already have created 2 API keys. In order to create a new API key, I will just press Create New Secret Key, and I'll just give it a name of the secret key. So it's going to be Video 9 New Key. That's how I name it. Create New Secret Key. Then you copy your API key, and please do not share the API key with anybody, because if anyone knows this API key, they can basically just use your credits, which you will add to the OpenAI platform. What we'll do now, we just copy the API key, press Done. Then we go back to Credentials, and we go here and create credential. We search for OpenAI, continue. And here, the only thing you need to do, you'll just need to paste here the API key you copied from OpenAI platform and press Save. Just like that, connection tested successfully. We close it and we see that OpenAI account is also connected to n8n. Connection of Telegram is a bit more complicated, and let's first try to connect it. We can go here, create credential. We search Telegram API, continue. And you can see here that we are requested to provide an access token. Where to get the access token for your Telegram account, I will show you now in the next screen. So I have already logged into my Telegram account. By the way, here you can also see the inboxes which I prepared for our tests of this workflow. But let's first focus on Telegram. So in Telegram, in order to provide n8n access to your Telegram, you need to use a bot which is called BotFather. So you just, in the search panel, you search for the BotFather. It's a verified bot, so it's trusted. You basically click on BotFather and press Start here. Here you see some instructions which BotFather sends you, and the only thing you are interested in currently is to create a new bot, because the new bot will give you an access token which you will use in n8n. You need to create a name for Telegram bot. Let's call it n8n starter bot. You can give any name here. And now they are asking us to choose a username for your bot. So it's before it was a name. Now we just need to create a username, and username should end with bot in the end. So something like Tetris bot or Tetris underscore bot. Let's try to use the same one because I already provided it with a bot in the end. I try to use this one. Okay, it says that username is already taken. So let's try something else. n8n starter first bot. So this name was not registered. That's why we're having the following message. We have a secret key here. You should not share it with anyone. I will have it here, this key blurred. I copy the key. I go back to the screen, and here I provide the access token and press save. We get a message that connection tested successfully. We close it, and we see now that we have 3 things connected. So 3 applications, Telegram, OpenAI, and Gmail. And from that moment, you can utilize Telegram, OpenAI, and Gmail in your workflows. And that's what we'll do in the next steps. Let's move on to step 1. This part is simple, but it's really important. It shows how n8n connects to the real world by listening to events in other applications. We'll see how n8n detects when a new email arrives to your Gmail inbox and brings that data into the workflow. We go to workflows. I have already one workflow created here. For the test purposes, we'll start a new one. So we should press create workflow. We go here and we change the name of the workflow. Let's write first AI workflow. In order to add Gmail to n8n, we just need to press plus. We'll add Gmail node. In the search box, we type Gmail. We choose the trigger on message received. That's when the node starts working. And once we press it, you will see the following window. This is a typical window for any node in n8n. On the left side, you can see the data which came to the node. Now we have nothing, that's why it's empty. On the right side, you can see the data which will be going out of this node to the next ones. And now it's also empty since we have not done yet anything. And then in the middle, you can see the settings where you basically say what n8n should do with this node. So we'll choose a Gmail account, and we will say that Gmail account should be checked every minute. We can also decide on which event this node will start working. Now we have here only on message received. Let's first try whether it actually works. So we can do the following. You can just press fetch test event. So what has actually happened? Let's go to our Gmail. Here in this window, you can see the Gmail account of Unreasonable AI, and that's where n8n is currently connected to. The latest email which arrived was Google Security Alert. Let's go back here, and we can actually see that the email which was fetched has been displayed in the following way. By the way, there are three types of display of the information which n8n provides. The data can be presented in schema format. That's what you currently see on the screen. Then in JSON format, it's the format which is normally used by the apps to exchange information. So in JSON format, you can see that, let's say there is a snippet part of the email which arrived. It says that n8n Cloud was granted access to your Google account and so on. It has also information about the subject and from whom this email came. That's actually what happened. So after n8n received access to Gmail, Google sent a notification to the account that that n8n.cloud was granted access. That's the email which we currently see. Then another form of representation of this information is a table format. In a table format, it's exactly the same data, just presented in this way. Maybe it's more readable as well. I personally prefer to use JSON. If you click outside of this area a bit here, you just click it and you come back to the workflow. And you can see that our workflow currently has only one node, which is Gmail, and the workflow has performed well. You can see this green check mark. One item has been moved further into the workflow, and this was exactly this email which has been received. And like that, we have finalized the first step of the workflow. n8n understands when the new email arrives to our Gmail inbox, and it fetches it from Gmail account and provides this information further to the following nodes, which we'll be adding on the next steps. In step 2, we'll send parts of the email to OpenAI's language model and ask it to decide whether the message is urgent or not, based on criteria we will define. For this example, an email will be considered urgent if it's about taxes or it's related to our most important client. We'll call client Zebra. If it's anything else, it won't be treated as urgent. Let's connect AI part. We'll add another node. We'll search for OpenAI. And the action, when it's going to be triggered, message a model. So we would like to send a message to OpenAI model in order to decide whether the message is urgent or not. So we will message a model. So once I press it, you can immediately see this familiar interface. On the left side, we can see what has came into this node from the previous one. Previous node is a Gmail trigger, and this is the information which we received. You can present it into in JSON format. So exactly the data which we saw before. This is incoming data. Outcoming data is currently empty. We would like to have outcoming data with an indication whether the email is urgent or not. Let's make a setup in the middle part of the screen. So first, you should choose OpenAI account credentials. That has been already chosen. Resource will be providing text. Operation, message model. We need to choose the type of the model, or let's say the version of the model we'll be using from OpenAI. Since this task is not very complicated, I would choose GPT 4.1 Nano, which is a quite cheap model, actually very cheap. So we're choosing this model, and we're coming to the main part, the prompt. So let's paste the prompt here, and it's quite huge, so it's not fitting in. I will just do it like that. So this is the prompt. Please decide if the email provided below is urgent or not. The email is urgent only if it is related to taxes or our most important client, client Zebra. If the email is about anything else, it should not be classified as urgent. Please respond in JSON format and set the field is urgent to true or false, depending on the result of the check. Here is the subject and here is the text. So first, I would like to make a comment. So how I created the prompt. I just created the prompt very quickly. I just described in human language what I would like to get from the model. There is no, let's say, template I used. It was just something which I wanted to get from the model. I described when the email should be considered as urgent, if it's about taxes or if it's about client Zebra. And I'm also saying something like that here. Since we need to understand, and actually our next node, if node, needs to understand whether email is urgent or not, we would ideally need to get from OpenAI an answer which will be, which will have some kind of field, which will be either true or false. And this field I'm asking to call is urgent. So I'm already saying which type of field I would like to have. You can call it in a different way. And I'm saying it should be either true or false, depending on the result of the check. Here, I would need to provide the subject. Actually, I can, it's up to me what I would like to provide to the model. But the cool thing about n8n is that we can insert here a dynamic subject, and the subject will depend actually on the node before, on the Gmail trigger. So what we'll do now, in the incoming data, you should choose the schema type. That's actually the best one when we would like to insert the dynamic data into some text here. I would like to put here the subject from our email. Let's try to find it here. So if we see the Gmail trigger result, we are seeing the following subject, security alert. Let's move this subject here. We just drag and drop. Okay. Once you drag and drop, you can just, you, by the way, can see the following icon here, which appeared. If you press this icon, it's going to be a lot easier to work with the prompt because you see now the window is quite small. So we press this icon and the following view appears. You can view what you are typing in a better way. So what you see now, we have provided the following expression, and this is the result, how it looks like. You can see that the subject, this JSON.subject in curly brackets, has been inserted not in the place where we want it to be inserted. So I would just move it here, and you can immediately see that's how our request to OpenAI will look like. And what we would like to see here, instead, the text of the email. And the text of the email is here in the snippet field. We'll do exactly the same. We just drag and drop it here. And you can see that this is the result. This is what OpenAI will receive based on the email which we would like to understand whether it's urgent or not. It's going to receive the following text with the following subject and with the following email text. I think that's good. So we just again click in this part of the screen. We come back. We also need to indicate that the output content should be in JSON format. We would like to have a JSON format again, because we need to have a field which will be true or false, and this is the best provided in JSON format. So we just put this mark, output content in JSON format, and then we can test the step. So let's test the step. What will happen? This information, this prompt will go to OpenAI, to the LLM of OpenAI. LLM will decide whether it's urgent or not, and it will send us some response. And the response which will be received will be provided in the right part of the screen in the output. So what we do, we just test the step. And that's what we are getting. So we have received the following response. This is the JSON format. There is a field is urgent, which we asked LLM to provide in the answer. And the field is urgent is false. That's true, because what we said, the email is about security, and there is nothing about taxes, there is nothing about client Zebra. So it should be not urgent. And that's exactly what we received. OpenAI understood that the message is not urgent, and it responded us with the following JSON, which has a false value. We will use this value later in the next step. Step 3 is a quick one, but it introduced a very useful tool in n8n, the if node. This node checks incoming information, in our case, the response from OpenAI, and routes the workflow based on the result. If the email is marked urgent, we will proceed and send a Telegram message. If not, the workflow simply stops here. In order to add if node, what we need to do is just press plus and search for if. If node is very simple, but it's really powerful. So depending on the result or on test of some of the conditions which are coming to the if node, we can either then move to the true branch and connect here some other nodes. In our case, we'll connect Telegram if the condition is urgent is true, or we can move to the false branch. We can do different actions if the result is false. In order to set up the if node and test the condition, what we'll do now, we just double click it. We come to the similar window we saw before. You can see here that we have access to the results of the execution of Gmail node and OpenAI node. We are interested in just OpenAI node and in is urgent field. To test whether it's true or false, for the if node, we basically just need to do one thing. We just need to drag it here to the conditions, and here choose, since true or false is a Boolean type, we just go to Boolean and check if it's true. And let's test the step. You can see that there are two possible options, either false branch or true branch. If node, after testing what has been received from OpenAI node, decided that it's actually a false branch because the result is false, and true branch should not be followed. So if you go back here, you can see that the false branch received one item after the execution of the if node, and the true branch has received nothing. So whatever we connect to the true branch in this particular use case will not be executed because the false branch is active. In the final step, we will send a Telegram notification to ourselves. I will show you how to set this up using a private Telegram group. In the future, this group will serve as a dedicated space for receiving automated alerts from n8n. This is a powerful method. You can create multiple Telegram groups for different projects and include not only yourself and the bot, but also teammates, maybe your friends, which can benefit from the updates. And now let's connect Telegram. We will need to send Telegram message only when the message is urgent. In the current examples, the message is not urgent. That's why let's change it. First of all, let's go back to our Gmail, and we can see here I already prepared some of the tests from another account in Gmail. I would like to send to our Unreasonable AI account an email about tax payments. So this is the draft I already prepared. That's the email where I'll be sending this email about tax payment, and let's press send. So the email arrived. Let's go back and let's try to refetch the latest email. Now it should be another one. So what we can do now, we can just test the whole workflow again. We press test workflow button, and you can see that there is a problem in the if node. Wrong type true is a string, but was expected a Boolean. Let's go here. Is urgent is true. Wrong type true is a string, but was expecting a Boolean condition item. Try either enabling convert types where required, converting the first field to Boolean by adding to Boolean. So basically what they're saying that is urgent is set to true, and true is not a value which n8n recognize as, let's say, positive. We need to convert it to Boolean because we are saying that this is a Boolean type. So what we're doing the following: we just need to add this thing dot to Boolean to this text here. So we're adding this, and we try to test. So we tested the step, and we can see that the true branch is working. Let's go back. Yeah, everything is fine. The true branch received. So if node is saying that the true branch is active. If we want, we can test it once again. Okay, everything is fine. So the condition here is correct. And now let's add Telegram node. We just press plus, we search for Telegram, and we go here to send a text message. We'll be sending a text message to a group which we will create now in Telegram. And to send the message, we will need to know chat ID of this group, and then in order to send some text. How it works in Telegram? In Telegram, if you create a group, you should then add a bot which we just connected to n8n in order for n8n to be able to send the messages to this group. It's a bit complicated. I will show you how to do it now. It's maybe 2 minutes, 2 minutes of work, but once you know how to do it, you'll be able to later utilize this approach and create different types of group for different types of notifications, and even maybe for different type of bots, which will be used on your various workflows. So how to do it? First of all, remember that with the bot father, we created our bot. If you already forget the name of this bot, you can go again to bot father and you can press my bots. When you press my bots, you can see that these are the bots you have created. I have 2 of them. So I just press the name of this n8n first bot. That's the one we did just some time ago. I press this name and the new message appears. And what I'm interested in the name of the bot, at n8n starter first bot. I just press it. And once you press it, you will be actually presented with a screen where in the bottom you need to press start. I already pressed start and the bot is activated. What we need to do now, first of all, let's copy the name of this bot. We are here, we just press n8n starter bot, and there is this username. You just press it, press copy icon, you copy it to the clipboard. Then the next step, we're actually creating this group. Let's create a new group. It doesn't matter who you add to the group. You can add nobody. And the group will be named, let's say, n8n notifications group. Create. So this group has been created. We would need to add our n8n starter bot to this group so that the bot can later send the messages to the group. We click on the name of the group here and we press add. In the search, we paste the name of the bot which we just created, we just copied. n8n starter bot. I press it and I add the bot to the group. You can see here that this bot is in the group and the bot can send the messages to this particular group, which is fine. But if we go back to n8n, you can see that we need chat ID. Chat ID is identifier of each of the chats or each of the groups we created. So in n8n notification group, we really don't know what is the chat ID. How to know, how to get this information? It's again very specific to Telegram. The way I use, there is a bot which you should add to this group so that you know the name, the chat ID of the group. It's called Get IDs bot. If you just I will just show you the name of this bot. It's at get IDs bot. I copy this name and I do exactly the same. I go to the group which we just created. I click on the name of the group. I press add the bot's name and I press this button and I add the bot. So once the bot is added to this group, if I go back to the group, you can immediately see that this bot has sent us a message with all the main information about this group. And one of the information which we need is this one, ID. It starts with minus 48 and so on. I will just copy this information. I'll go back to n8n. I press paste in chat ID. And in the text, let's try just some simple one, hi there. When I press test tab, what I'm expecting to get, n8n, it is connected to Telegram using the bot which we before created, and the bot is added to the group. That's why when I press test step, in theory, this message hi there should appear in that group because the bot has access to the group. So let's press test step. And we can see that the answer is positive, it's all green, so we should have received a message. Let's go back to Telegram, and in the group, we can see that we received a message from the bot, n8n starter bot, hi there. There is also information that this message was sent automatically with n8n. You can actually remove this information that it was sent with n8n, and in order to do so, you should go here and in reply markup, you should, not in reply markup, sorry, you should add field, append n8n attribution, and here deselect this field. So that if you press once again, hi there again, let's send another message. Let's go back. And you can see that this new message, hi there again, was sent without n8n attribution. So that's how you connect Telegram. Now we have Telegram, which is working, which is sending messages. Let's just change the message which will be sent to Telegram. So what we would like to send? We would just at least like to send a bit of the information about the message. What we can say, we can modify some fields here. In the text, let's open this window. We press this button and there's going to be an editor. And the message will be the following. You received an urgent message in Gmail. Please go and check it. Okay, we close it. And if you want something more complicated, let's say you would like to say from whom or the subject or something else, you can press expression here and again press this button. So we can actually add some information about subject. And let's bring the subject here. It's not in the if node, it's in the Gmail node. And if you remember, the subject was here. So we just bring it here. So you can see it pasted like that in this format. It indicates the name of the node, then the whole way to the subject. It's name of the node dot item dot json dot subject. Subject. Then let's say from whom. From. Let's paste this one. And message. And in the message, let's paste this snippet text. Okay. Let's maybe add something like that. So we finished. You can see that this is going to be the result. The message should look something like this. We close it and let's try. We press test. We go to Telegram and we see that the following message has been received. You received an urgent message in Gmail. Please go and check it. Subject, upcoming tax payment deadline from Unreasonable AI, and the message, dear Alexey, and the message about the upcoming tax payment. And just like that, we basically achieved our goal. We have the workflow, which is running. We'll press test workflow now once again. The email is received in Gmail. It is sent to OpenAI. OpenAI, with our own instructions written in a simple English language, decides whether the email is urgent or not. Then it is sent to the if node, and if node, if the email is urgent, decides to activate Telegram. If the email is not urgent, I don't know, maybe you would like also to send some kind of other notification or do nothing. In this particular use case, we will just do nothing and we'll just send a Telegram message if the email is really urgent. And now let's see the workflow in action. I will send a few test emails on different topics and we will be watching how the n8n workflow handles them. I will have Gmail and Telegram open side by side so you can follow the process in real time. Keep in mind, n8n checks Gmail about once per minute, so there may be a short delay between sending an email and receiving the notification. I have the following drafts I have prepared. So there is a London weather email. This email is about the London weather, so nothing crazy. Let's send it to our inbox. The message is received. We go back to n8n and let's now test this workflow. We expect that the email should not be considered as urgent and therefore there should be no Telegram message sent. Let's test workflow. You can see that the workflow is considered as executed and the branch false is active. So there has been no Telegram message. And in fact, if you go back to Telegram, you can see that the latest message we received was the previous message about the tax payment. And the London weather message has not been forwarded here. And now the last step. The last step is actually to activate this workflow. If you now save the workflow, and you, by the way, should always press saved, you can see that the workflow is inactive. If you remember, the Gmail trigger is set to every minute, which means that every minute n8n will be connecting to Gmail and checking whether there is a new email or not. And then I'm trying to understand with OpenAI Note whether it's urgent, and if urgent, it sends a Telegram message. But now the workflow is not active. If you go to the overview, you can see that there are two workflows. Current workflow is the one which we created today. It's first AI workflow. It's inactive, and actually another one as well. In order to make it active, we just need to press here. We activate the workflow. The workflow will now regularly check Gmail for events and trigger execution for them. This execution will not show up immediately in the editor, but you can see the execution list if you choose Save Execution. Okay, don't show this again. I got it. The workflow is active. Let's see whether we'll receive any Telegram message. What we'll do now, we will go and send some information which should be considered as urgent. VAT refund. Okay, there is this email about VAT. Let's send it. And let's monitor what will be happening. We can see that the email has been received in the inbox. Now, in theory, in less than a minute, let's say in 2 minutes, we should receive some notification on Telegram. It is received. You see? You received an urgent message in Gmail, subject urgent VAT return not submitted, unreasonable AI, and message hello, our records indicate that your March VAT return is not submitted. You can see how powerful it is. So we, in less than, I would say 20, let's say 30 minutes, we created a workflow with our unique rules, which we set up just using simple language, which connected Gmail, OpenAI, and Telegram. In the next videos, we'll be continuing working on this, and we'll be checking more and more options and more automations, which really makes a difference and will give you superpowers, which if you implement at your working place or in your private life, people will be asking, like, are you a coder? How have you done it? But you have seen there is nothing about code. You just need to connect a couple of nodes, activate the workflow, and then this workflow will be running 24 hours independently on you, on the servers of n8n, or actually on your own server if you decide to install n8n there. And that's it for our first AI workflow, and it's just the beginning. In the next videos, we'll keep building step by step, connecting even more tools and creating powerful automations with real practical examples, just like this one. If you want to become an AI automation expert and build workflows that help you test ideas, explore new tools, and unlock your own superpowers, you are in the right place. So if you haven't yet, subscribe to the channel and register your n8n account. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.